Hey guys, thanks for taking the time out to listen to my podcast. Just want to let you guys know if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Listen, I was able to do this very easy. Anchor has the tools that allow you to record, edit your podcast right from your phone or the computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a lot more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, it's free. Please download the Anchor app, go to anchor.fm to get started. Take it easy. FYI, I am damaged. Welcome. Thank you for joining me for another episode of FYI, I Am Damaged. I'm joined by Claudio, a photographer and entrepreneur. Claudio, thank you for joining us.
Oscar, thank you so much for having me. It's great. I've been looking forward to this.
Great, and I've been looking forward to having you ever since we discussed and were trading notes on all the stuff that we've done, how you are an amazing photographer, and how...
Working on it.
Your podcast idea, which we'll keep it in the vault. And okay. I hope you do something amazing with that and
Thanks.
Everything else. We came up on a topic that I thought would be great for an episode, and it's about homeschooling. I was very surprised that you have your two kids in homeschool.
Right.
I was very interested to learn about all that. I thought it would just make a great episode. So.
Curious, before we spoke about that the last time we were together, did you know that I was homeschooling, or that was
Absolutely
new to you right there?
No, that was new to me. The only time since we experienced each other was when you did a photography shoot
long time ago. For your firstborn?
Yes.
And he was 1.
Yes.
And he is how old now?
11.
So it was 10 years ago.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. Just to put a timestamp on it. And so that's the first time we met was 10 years ago for your son's first birthday.
Right.
And then we met again for your...
It was the Yo Gabba Gabba birthday, I think.
Sure.
That was his first one, yeah.
Yes.
No, wait. It was a Yo Gabba Gabba because we rolled it up.
You would know more than I would, but I wouldn't remember.
Honestly, we used someone. No, I'm thinking of the baby shower. We had a photographer for that, but when it was his first birthday, absolutely, yeah.
It was Yo Gabba Gabba?
Yeah, okay, the birthday.
Let's talk about Yo Gabba Gabba.
So yeah, I'm sorry, you had a question.
The question I had for you was, have you ever met anyone who has homeschooled their kids?
No, I have
really?
not.
Okay.
That's why I thought it was so interesting that a lot of questions came to mind as the dynamic to it. I thought it was very interesting. I haven't really heard anything super negative about it. Nothing really bad pertaining to it.
Right.
It's just another form of learning.
Sure.
I just thought it was interesting. Now I know somebody who is doing it, for their kids, and yeah, that's why we're here.
Great. I look forward to talking about it. Every chance I get, I try to speak to people about it. For those who don't know, I have my own photo studio. I've been in business for 12 years, and I have had my physical photo studio for 8 years, which means that I've had a lot of families, many, come through my studio. And trust me, every opportunity I get, I try to find a reason to bring that up. And I promise you, 90% of the time when I say I homeschool my kids, the parents perk up. And they can't... I have questions, but what about socializing, or what about exams, or what about college, and so on and so forth. And most of them are intrigued because I feel that many parents would like to homeschool their kids.
Right.
And so I'm always eager to have this conversation. So it's great that we could put it on this platform, and then we could, put it in the universe, and hopefully it can help people. Homeschooling can't be for everybody, and It's not for everybody, but it's for many people, and it's for many people who are like me and my wife. And so I hope that for those who are a little bit hesitant or apprehensive about doing something like that your podcast and this conversation can help them do that. So I look forward to talking about it.
And it's even more important to get it from the father's perspective, because honestly, anytime anything would come up in the news about homeschooling, the front facing would be the mother, and the father would just come in and be like, yeah,
sure.
It's great to get that type of in-depth perspective about something like this. Hopefully it'll open up a lot of eyes.
Yeah.
and that more fathers can speak up that I'll follow my wife's lead. It's your kid. You both can lead.
Yeah, 100%.
There's no one leading position.
Each has their own separate responsibilities because they play different roles.
Right.
Yeah, and I play a different role than my wife. And as we talk about it, I'll give you insight into the role that I play in homeschooling and the role my wife plays in homeschooling and how we do that together. And it's not equal.
Right.
It's different for each of us and the role that we play in homeschooling the children.
So how did the discussion start with your wife, and what was the tipping point to lead into let's just go do this?
Right. The tipping point was, I don't know if this answers your question, but essentially what stops most people from...
Or was it a gradual discussion up to it, or...
Yeah.
How did
I mean,
that
something
go?
like that, you kind of have to talk about it because it's a radical decision in today's society to pull your child out of school. And so... It couldn't have been, it had to be gradual. I meant the thing that happened that allowed it to be was that I lost my job. But also while I had lost my job, I was building up my business.
Right.
So I was able to do that from home. Before, working from home was the thing, right?
Yeah.
Now it's everywhere, right? Because of post-COVID and all that stuff. But so I was able to, I lost my job, which was the best thing that ever happened. And I had...
What did you used to do?
So I worked, I never had any serious jobs. The last job I had was photography supervisor at Madame Tussauds Wax Museum down on 42nd Street. So Madame Tussauds is all over the world. There's not a main one, the main one is in London, but there's one in New York, Times Square, and I worked there for 6 years. And, I was one of their best employees, so on and so forth. But it's one of those jobs that doesn't pay very well. I never had a serious job. Here's some foreshadowing. I didn't graduate college. I hated school. Yeah. So here you go. You kind of get like, oh, well, there you go. That's why you homeschooled his children. But it does have something to do with that. So, yes, I lost my job there because I was so focused on my business, which is a good reason to lose your job for it. Not because I'm lazy or whatever. So, and then my wife was like, keep going. You don't have to get a job, which is the best thing ever, to have your spouse go for it, And all that leads to the opportunity, the open door that says, oh, shoot, we have one parent at home. The other parent is working because, we need two incomes. But that, whether it was me or my wife, whoever would have happened, we probably would have said, yeah, that's it. Let's start homeschooling the kid. And at that point, we only had one child, which was my oldest. Right. He's 17 now, and he went all the way up to 3rd grade.
Public school?
Public and 1 year of charter school.
Oh, okay.
Which we put them in charter school. I still don't know what charter schools are. Whatever. Maybe you'll let me know. But it shows you how little I cared about that, the system in general. So I was itching to rebel against the system or that institute. You know what I'm saying? I just knew that it's something that doesn't work for many people. It does work for some, but it doesn't work for many. I mean, the numbers just don't add up, right? So it's okay if it works for others, but it doesn't work for most people. So why not change it? So what we did is that we took destiny into our own hands and we changed it for at least our family. Right. And hopefully conversations like this will inspire people to do it if they can, and if it fits them to do it as well. But lost my job. My wife says go for it, meaning keep doing your business, don't get a job. All that is going to do is sideline you. And we took that opportunity to keep kids home. So actually my youngest was born, but he was like 1 or 2. So we hadn't crossed that road yet with him in school. Right. So he's the youngest now. We only have 2 children. The youngest one, he is 11 years old, about to be 12 in August, and he's never been to school. So there goes that. We got one that's been all the way to 3rd grade, so he's experienced some aspect of it. And then there's the 11-year-old who's never been to school. So that's how it happened, essentially. We had the opportunity. And I always tell people that, if you want to do homeschooling, you might not be able to because you have a 9-to-5, because you're working, so on and so forth. And so, but keep it in mind in case an opportunity arises where one parent starts a business and they're able to leave their job. And maybe, believe it or not, you can homeschool your kids from work. You can homeschool your kids from whatever business you run. And we partially did that because when we first opened our photo studio, my kids were coming to the studio with me. Right. Now they're older, they can stay home, but we did it that way. And so that's essentially how it happened for us. I assume it's going to be different for everybody because there's no structure for this. Right. It's just however you want to do it. And so that's how it happened with us, and we took the opportunity and took advantage of it, and that's how it happened for us.
So initially,